I am Ignacio Lacalle. I work for the Polytechnic University of Valencia, and I am here today as the representative of the project ASSIST-IoT, which is, as you may know, handling currently an open call funding opportunity process. So today I will be explaining to you a bit how this is working and how you can apply for the funding in this open call opportunity. I guess people will be coming little by little during this time, but as the time is a bit constrained, I prefer to start right now. As Valentin has said, the session is being recorded, so in case you miss some part of it or you want to reshare see it afterwards, it will be available in EU IoT usual channels. So with that being said, let me explain you what this open call consists of. First, I would like to make a bit some notes about our project. We are ASSIST-IoT, an acronym of a project that stands for an architecture for scalable, human-centric, intelligent, secure, and tactile next-generation IoT, which is a project that it's been running since November 2020. We'll have 36 months of duration, so we will end around October 2023 next year. So we are almost in the half of the execution. It's a project composed of 15 partners out of 7 European countries. And our main goal, is to devise, deliver, implement, and validate a reference architecture for what we call the next generation IoT. What does this mean? It means integrating or embedding as native capabilities of next generation platforms of IoT some traits that were up to now not natively included, like DLT, meaning blockchain, network function, SDN, meaning software-defined networks, augmented reality, virtual reality, 5G, new ways of connectivity. Till now, the IT platforms have had to be adapting and adding plugins and not very prepared for these new challenges that are being posed by the technology. So the goal in the project is to devise and deliver such an architecture, following the principles of modularity, scalability, decentralization, human centricity, and interoperability. Technologically, we are in the project developing a series of technologies upon this platform, what we like to call enablers, atop a smart network of interconnections. And one prominent point of our project is also bringing intelligence closer to the edge. This is the trend that is being observed lately, not relying too much on the cloud and performing processes of analytics, etc., closer to the origin of the data, meaning the edge. The technology we are delivering, it's being validated. Well, will actually be started to be validated very soon in 4 use cases, in 4 pilots, okay, in 3 different verticals. What we made when we were choosing which pilots would be the ones validating our technology back in the when we prepared the proposal, we thought of leading industries to demonstrate that our technology is scalable and can be easily adopted, and also heterogeneous environments, meaning not focusing only on one sector due to the dangers that entails. So we established 3 verticals: the maritime port sector, the construction sector, and the automotive sector, and we built 4 pilots upon those 3 verticals. I am going to be explaining a bit those pilots afterwards, so I will skip this part right now. As I have mentioned before, we are in a current open process of opportunity of funding through open calls, through cascade funding. In particular, out of almost 8 million that the project is total budget, 900,000 euros have been reserved for letting external entities come in and provide value to our project. What is what we pretend or what we aim to with these open calls? Well, validation and improvements of our architecture, of our technical components, taking up ASSIST-IoT application for the extent, let's say, a broader scope of target users, target application developers, to allow them create new applications and services upon it. And also, of course, regarding our internal interest of the project, increasing our exploitation, our visibility, perspective of the business lines, etc. From the managerial or, say, operational point of view, we are currently in the first out of 2 open call procedures. We launched the first one in November that will end at the end of this month, and we will launch a new one in summer that will end at the end of October this year, a second round, meaning you will have this opportunity to get funded and also a new one later on this year. The total of 900,000 euros I have mentioned. For this round, we will distribute 420,000 euros to 7 proposals. So you can infer that the maximum that we can fund external people is 60,000 euros, and the maximum duration of your activities, of your proposal, is 9 months. So these are figures and numbers to keep in mind, meaning maximum of 60,000 euros and maximum of 9 months of execution. And in case of being awarded, you could join our consortium as fair linked parties of the project coordinator that happens to be us, UPP, Universitat Politécnica of Valencia. Each open call funded, meaning your projects, need to be focused and fitting within 1 out of the 4 pilots, 3 verticals, 4 pilots that we will be explaining. What do you have to be in order to be eligible for the open calls? Well, you can be an SME or an RTO, a research center, universities, but not big companies. Big companies are not allowed in our call. And the proposal is sent individually as a company, as a university, etc. Consortia are not allowed. Regarding which is the time flow or which is managing this, we opened, as I have mentioned, the call on November 1st. It has been open since then, and it ends at the end of this month, meaning 28th February at 5 p.m. Afterwards, we will close the open procedure, and all proposals are evaluated by 2 external independent evaluators and 1 observer to guarantee impartiality. And the results are expected, results of funding or rejection, are expected to be ready by May 19th, the 19th of May. Afterwards, you would start working in the project probably from June 1st, and you would be evaluated by the consortium several times during your participation, which will be again constrained to 9 months maximum, and you will receive the payments scheduled in those periods. So, with that having in mind, you should already have an idea or know whether or not you are going to present your proposal. But you would be now in the moment to ask yourselves what I need to do, meaning what does my project or my activities need to comply with? And the answer is as follows, is twofold. First, from the technical criteria, as we have said before, our goal is to validate our technology, meaning validating a part of our architecture. What does it mean? It means using or leveraging or improving our one or more of our technological provisions, meaning enablers. We have enablers on artificial intelligence, on DLT, on federated learning, open API, semantics, gateways, IoT. The technology we are delivering, it's diverse. So for this, we kindly encourage you all to take a look at our technical documents in which everything is clear and explained. The second condition that you might comply with in terms of for being funded is the operational criteria to provide added value to one of our 4 pilots. What does it mean to provide added value? Meaning allowing them to enhance the scope of their use case in our project. How to do that? Because this might seem a bit abstract. So for helping you prepare your proposal, the stakeholders in the consortium in advance thoughts and design some challenges that you could think of for helping them or for adding added value. So I will be explaining some challenges that our stakeholders define that represent things that they would like to have in their use case. But we are not only constrained to these specific challenge ones, because that would be probably too narrow for opening to the whole European SME environment. So if you have projects that fit globally with the spirit of the use case or even the sector, you might take a look at our documents and make a proposal also, although not fitting those challenges specifically. You will understand in a few minutes. So the first pilot we have, it's in the context of a maritime port. In concrete, the maritime port of the terminal port of Malta. So in there, some developments are being done in order to use and leverage augmented reality for remote control of cranes. We are also working on the automatic machine-to-machine, peer-to-peer negotiation and communication for stacking the containers in the terminal, and in general, improving the communications, the latency, and the processing capabilities of the whole network in a port towards the edge of that network. In that regard, the port stakeholder in the project defined a total of 6 challenges that would be interesting for you to apply for. Meaning, for instance, developing a low-cost, accurate GPS development system for tracking people and for tracking machines in the port space. A data semantic translator between cranes of the brand Con cranes to navies, the terminal operating system, or an annotation tool for training machine learning models to identify objects in the terminal, meaning identifying containers or identifying people, identifying whatever. And stack collision prevention, leveraging LIDAR and OCR data, a calculator of an optimal path in a closed space using LiDAR-powered cranes, or detecting people from video cameras, for instance, in a container terminal. Again, these are examples of challenges you might want to tackle if your business activity is related. But again, we have also opened 2 global challenges that you could say apply for: just integrating new IoT devices to the whole process, or a global wider proposal. Let's put that you have a system that just helps the supply chain in a particular way. It might be suitable because it's under the spirit of the pilot, although it's not exactly in these challenges. This reflection that I have just made applies for all the pilots, so I will not be repeating it again. And regarding pilots 2, it's contextualized in the building construction sector and has as a title safety workers, safety for workers in the construction. So you might know what all of this is about, meaning we are equipping workers in a construction plant with wearables and with glasses for virtual reality, and with some equipment and with some software tools as well, for reducing the risk of falls or accidents in the workplace. In that, using technology and of course moving intelligence to the edge and leveraging new communication technologies like, for instance, 5G. So the challenge defined that pilot were mixed reality support for the training of the responsible of health in an area based on roles, meaning who can enter what space or not, and integration with a VIM tool, as you can see in this second slide. Second would be a vision-based hazard monitoring to recognize faults, and another human image from video analysis, from video frames. Another one could be a 2D/3D localization map in indoor between plants in a construction site, connected as well to the BIM. Or, for instance, equipping an AI-powered personal cooling system that, depending on personal vital signs monitoring, for instance, would heaten or say cooling the person, the worker working. Again, as before, new IoT devices are also welcome, and wider proposals working in this sector with technology might also be suiting for applying. Same applies for the third out of 4 pilots, that is contextualized. The partner that works here is for Germany. It's an automotive pilot that consists of having an open ECU, meaning the controller unit that is in the car that controls all the parameters of the engine and other probes and information within the car, in service, meaning when working, and in real time monitoring those values, applying some artificial intelligence within the car for mainly reducing the emissions of the car. This is the global goal of the use case. Therefore, the challenge is the firmware 3, integration of vibration of new sensors to track the state of the car or the road, internal and external air quality monitoring with the aim of triggering actions to the driver, meaning change the gear or reduce your speed or take this other path, these kind of things, and a no-code driving and automatic navigation system that would be applied to also fleet management. Again, new devices and global proposals are also welcome. The last, but not the least, the last pilot, it's also in the automotive sector, but it's not about in-service functioning of cars, but rather the visual inspection of defects in the outside part of cars that go through this arc of light bulbs and cameras that take information in 2D of illuminating the car and checking defects. And the goal here is to process better these images with more quality, more accuracy, and closer to the place where it's happening rather than moving it to the cloud. Challenge is defined where adding a component of 3-dimensionality to those images, for instance, with a depth sensor or whatever, apart from the 2-dimensionality that's already there. Erasing or removing reflections and shadows from the scanned images with artificial intelligence, and the image acquisition and processing from user-aware edge nodes, meaning including the human in the loop of the processing with their smartphone, tablet, or whatever, the one that is making the inspection, processing also images there. Again, proposals trying to bring new sources of information, new devices, or new methodologies, or even global, would also be accepted there. These are the pilots, and these are the scopes that you must have in mind. You should provide value to. If you remind the first slide I have presented, you must validate the architecture and you must provide some added value via this specific challenge or via other ideas in the same sector, but always framed within one of the pilots. Okay, once known the idea that you might present, you should start writing the actual proposal. For doing so, we have prepared a template that it's shown here and available on our website, and you must fulfill all the sections according to the instructions provided. The maximum length of this document is 15 pages, and you should try to represent with clarity which is the project you are going to carry out, which is the team, etc. Once that it's prepared, then it's the time for submitting to us the application. How can you do that? Well, you must do 2 actions. The first one, you must register your submission via a form, an online form that is available on our website, and where you need to say which is your project, the name, to which pilot you are tackling, etc. And the second action you must do is with your proposal and any additional material you might consider of use, compress everything and send it via email to two mail addresses indicated in this slide and also clearly indicated in our guidelines for applicants. This must be done before February 28th at 5 p.m. Central Time, because at that moment we will be closing the open window for presenting proposals and yours will not be accepted anymore. Before, let's say afterwards, after you have sent your proposals and the process is closed, we will send the proposals for evaluators to two external evaluators, but before it will pass an eligibility check. We will see that you are say eligible for the call, applying to the criteria we have mentioned before. Afterwards, you will receive from these two evaluators a report, an evaluation summary report that will be communicated to you either with the acceptance and funding or either with rejection, and explaining which were your rankings, etc., and for what reasons. It's expected that all of these will be completed by May 19th, and you will have your notification by then, so that you could start June 1st. This has been all. This is how it works. And recapping, and just passing to the floor for questions. Only SMEs, RTOs and unis can get a maximum of 60,000 euros in a single project to one of the open challenges, framed within one of our pilots. Whatever innovative suggested project must validate the architecture, and you must present before 20th February a proposal with maximum of 15 pages using the template and uploading it, completing one form and sending it via email to two addresses, and we will have the notification by May 19th. More information can be checked in our website and on the links we are just letting there available. We will be circulating these slides afterwards. And that has been all from my side. Needless to say, if you want more information, our lines are always open, so you can peer-to-peer reach us and concert a meeting and whatever. Thank you. That was all. So I don't know, Valentin, if you want to ask for question or should be myself managing this.
I think you can do it. You can answer better than me. Okay,
great. So with that being said, that's all, and I am here to solve any question you might have right now, if there's any.
Hello, Ignacio.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Albert. I'm from an SME in Ireland.
Hello, Albert.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. It's very helpful. I just have a couple of questions. So the first one is it realistic to assume as an SME that some solution or technology could actually be deployed with the pilot customer? So, for example, is the pilot user, on board with the project? Will they actually facilitate the rollout of some technology?
No. Yeah, they are part of the consortium as partners, and they are providing us, meaning to the project, all the infrastructure, all the premises, etc. So you would, in case of being accepted, you will have all the means at your disposal. You would be actually a part of the project, so you can contact the stakeholder, prepare the solution for them, everything.
Great, thank you very much.
You are welcome. Which was the second one?
It was sort of around, there were different challenges called out on the website. So some was like device, network, API, they were all kind of individual lines. Should we address more than one challenge or just one? I'm not sure if you know about the
Yes. Yes. In terms of the pilot challenges, the ones that I have explained today here, you must select one of them, meaning you cannot create the personal cooling system and also make the semantics integration between an operating system and a crane. Only one. But regarding the technology, it's open. You could validate our API and also performing an artificial intelligence method and also bringing new data and new validation to our solution. So constrained to one in terms of pilot value adding, but many if it's in technology wise.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Albert. Okay,
Hello.
I am not very familiar with Zoom, so in case you have questions, just raise your voice.
Yeah, can I go for my question?
Yes, please.
Hi. Hi, I'm from an SME from Greece. Actually, we're seeing as more applicable the pilot number 2 with the safety of workers and stuff like that. I have a more generic question. In the general safety of workers during in a working space, actually there are 2 areas. The one is the real-time operation and the precaution and safety based on data gathered real time, which is the description in the pilot. But it's also the training, the proper training of the workers. And since in the project it mentions augmented reality for guidance, etc., I wanted to ask if it applies the training beforehand, or the proper training beforehand in the worker as well. Do you know that?
Yes, it applies as well. Yeah, both of them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because the scope of the pilot, it's kind of, as you have perfectly brought up, it's twofold. You would also provide some solutions in the training or in the real-time consideration. Both of them are valid.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And sorry, a clarification about that. I'm from the same SME. Since it's not directly solving let's say our proposal does not solve 100% the predefined challenge, do we have to apply as a global channel?
Yes.
A challenge, sorry.
Yes. Yes, the simple answer there is yes. You should make the exercise of understanding our technology and how you are providing value to the pilot outside of those predefined challenges, which is no problem at all, and just build your proposal around your ideas and concepts. You will only need to be careful whenever in the form selecting the challenge we are tackling to select the global challenge for the pilot you are selecting. So
okay, thank you.
Pilot 2, global challenge, or pilot 3, whatever.
I've also a question. I'm also part of an SME, and I think also my question is in line with Albert's question. So we are a manufacturer of vehicles, and we want to work together with a supplier. Who is it? So who actually needs to apply to this funding? Is it us, or would it be the supplier?
Is the one developing the technology that will be part of the project.
Correct, but it will be integrated in the vehicle.
I don't understand exactly your question, sorry.
So
you are an SME developing some technology for a client of yours, which is a vehicle producer.
Yeah, so yeah, we are a vehicle producer, and we are working together with a supplier who can do, let's say, have something which is integrated in our vehicle, and also will apply to one of these projects. Actually, who needs to apply then to ASSIST-IoT for the project? Is it us, or is that our supplier?
It must be the one that will be actually carrying out the works. Meaning, you will receive, if you get funded, you will receive a total amount of maximum 60,000 euros in the form of lump sum. Lump sum means that you don't need to go through an audit of all your costs, but of course the costs you will be claiming will need to be associated to people being paid by your company or by the other one. That's the kind of question you might make yourself. Who is actually the one to be performing the work? And that's the entity that needs to apply for the Open Call.
Yeah, it's both who want to, or actually need to apply the work. But we for example, we could be the main contractor, and that other company will integrate then in our vehicle. So they also will apply quite a lot of work.
You should check it internally in terms of who will be actually being paid of the money we will be distributing. But please remember that the goal of our open calls is not to favor other potential adopters of the technology. You must provide added value to our pilots. Yeah. So if you're thinking to just using our technology for your client or vice versa, you should be a bit careful on how you formulate things, but because that's not the goal of our open calls. You must provide added value to our pilots. I want that to be clear.
Yeah, that also will be the case.
Okay. Okay, so if that could be the case, I believe that you should take the decision only based on who will be actually claiming the money we will be funding, and which one is the SME that can get the money. Basically.
Okay. I'll think about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Maria Kojayani from Greek SME as well. I would like to ask some questions concerning the template. Is that okay? Okay, so my first question would be about the mid and long-term KPIs and the expected impact. Do you have something specific in mind? Like when you say expected impact during the project, this means like our project, or the ASSIST-IoT?
No, your project. Everything there in your proposal is about your 9 months span project, except for the section number 2, I guess that it is, in which you must remark the benefits for our use case in our technology of your project, but it's also referred to your project, meaning some KPIs. So how we are improving our processes, or how we are actually improving the accuracy of the predictive methods applied to the pilot of ASSIST-IoT, how we are expecting our solution to be increasing in the long term, for instance. These are also valid KPIs. So if we are able to successfully integrate our product within ASSIST-IoT, providing value to these people, we are expecting to generate 3 new business lines, or to deliver 100 new gateway devices in the mid-term or long-term future. These are the kind of mindsets you must have.
Okay. And concerning the publications, you say in the next, a little bit later in the text. So you mean publications, all the dissemination and communication activities, right? Or
you might mention dissemination communication in terms of going to this or this other fair or event, relevant sectorial event in which to demonstrate our results in ASSIST-IoT, but the publication side of things is much more focused on universities, of course, and RTOs.
Okay.
So you might mention there, if you are an SME, the events you are planning to attend to disseminate the work done. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I have one last question concerning the budget. So we're supposed to fill, just to make sure that I understand correctly, the last line which says third party, or the form of costs, the one before the end.
Sorry, I have missed your last part. You are supposed to...
in the budget of the project, there is like a small table.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So there are 2 lines, form of costs, 1 line before the end, and the third party, which is the last line. So our name and our total cost and our maximum financial support and all this, they should be filled in which line of the 2, or in both?
In both. Actually, this is a template that might be probably a bit smarter, but it's exactly the one that afterwards the European Commission uses for fulfilling their template. So that's why we use that one. But in practical terms, the quantity should be the same in both cells of the table, actually.
Okay, in both lines.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect. Thank you very much for your answers.
Thank you. Okay. I don't see any other hands raised and anything. So if that's all, Valentin, I guess that it's now my turn to thank you all for your presence here, for having attended this, and let me express our sincere hope that you all apply for our funding opportunities. Let me finalize the intervention with the reflection that although we are a bit close to the end of the deadline, etc., and you might feel that it's kind of a challenge, remember that we will have a second round of open calls later this year in which the exact same conditions will apply. Same template of the proposal, same pilots. Challenges might vary a bit, but some of them will remain. So if you get rejected for some reason this time, you could even represent directly the same document to the second round or prepare a new one. So let you think about that, and we hope to receive applications from all your sites. Thank you, and all the good luck for you.